Doris and her husband Bert are both 80. For some time Doris has had a pain in the neck, and no, it's not Bert this time. Doris visits a doctor, he takes her blood pressure, heart rate, and examines her, making notes. We would think of this as him gathering the quantitative data. The doctor then asks Doris a number of questions about her lifestyle, her home, and when she started to get the neck pain. We would think of this as him gathering the qualitative data. Based on his findings, the doctor makes his diagnosis. He thinks that Doris's pain is due to her sitting too near a drafty door. He suggests they arrange for a draft excluder to be fitted. Within a few days, her pain is gone and she is discharged. If the doctor hadn't taken into account the important qualitative information in Doris's diagnosis, Doris could have been prescribed unnecessary, expensive, and potentially harmful medication or treatment. Now that was a relatively simple scenario, but what if we imagine the NHS manager as the doctor and the NHS as the patient? In doing so, we begin to understand the problems that NHS managers face in deciding what treatment to administer this wonderful institution. An altogether different scale. 1.4 million staff, 14.9 million hospital admissions each year, 1 million patients every 36 hours. Arguably, the NHS has enough quantitative data, financial, performance reports, targets, etc. And even the qualitative data, customer, staff and other stakeholder feedback. So why then is it so difficult to make a diagnosis and treat the patient, in this case the NHS? Well, let's think back to our doctor diagnosing Doris's condition. Here the doctor's good listening skills were focused on one individual. The NHS manager, however, is bombarded with the views of millions, patients and staff. It's no wonder they cannot understand the collective message and take appropriate action. All they can be expected to do at the moment is pick up the odd word or two and reinterpret the message, filling in more tick boxes. So what's the diagnosis? We already know we have enough quantitative data. It's the qualitative stuff we have problems with. At the moment, our toolbox for dealing with it is empty. We should be taking that valuable information, interpreting it without losing the message, and turning it into knowledge, so that ultimately we make wise decisions based on actual experiences and not some process version of it. This is exactly what Sir Bruce Keough announced in his recent report when he said, "This review found that providers and commissioners are struggling to understand and take full advantage of the enormous and very rich set of data available on quality." It's also what Robert Francis QC stated in his report when he said, "The Trust failed to listen to patients' concerns, the Board did not review the substance of complaints, and incident reports were not given the necessary attention." Okay, we now have the diagnosis, so what's the treatment? Until now, there's been no product available capable of taking large volumes of free-form customer and staff feedback, making sense of it all, and providing meaningful information for NHS managers to act upon. Now, Akumen are pleased to announce their new product, Pansensic. Pansensic takes your mountain of customer and staff comments and observations and, using its complicated algorithms and metaphor phrases, produces clear and meaningful information that points you to the real issues that need to be tackled, traceable back to the raw data. So, we can carry on taking the patient's readings and administering unnecessary medication, or use all that qualitative data that we have, turn it into meaningful information, in so doing gain knowledge to build a stronger and more focused NHS. Pansensic, the only intelligent software available that can process large volumes of feedback, available from Akumen today.